Welcome to our continuing video series of LDS thought leadership dedicated to the discussion of transformation management. Across the board today, business leaders are rethinking the purpose of their organizations and their role in society. We're necessarily breaking down deeply embedded silos to develop the new capabilities associated with the rise of cognitive work practices in a world of increasingly automated industry. In the first of this two-part series, we'll discuss what it means to lead a purpose-driven organization in the context of an emerging digital world order that is compelling us to redesign ways of working and fully embrace the age of AI and all of its promises. I'm Mimi Brooks, and this is LDS On, leading a purpose-driven organization in a digital world order. Let's get started. Over the past 250 years, 3 industrial revolutions have changed the world and transformed the way humans create value. In each, technologies, political systems, and social institutions all co-evolved, changing not just industries, but how people saw themselves, related to one another, and interacted with the natural world. One revolution builds on the next, and digital computing capabilities were the general purpose technology behind the third industrial revolution, thanks to exponential reductions in the size and cost of transistors since their invention in 1947. This provided the essential backbone for Industry 4.0, which started in the early 2000s. At its core is the fusion of powerful, emerging digital technologies and human interaction. Fourth Industrial Revolution technologies share these dynamics. They extend and transform digital systems in significant ways. They scale exponentially, emerge physically, and embed themselves in people's lives. Their disruptive power is amplified by how they combine and generate innovations, and they create similar benefits and challenges. These combinatorial technologies upend existing ways of sensing, calculating, organizing, acting, and delivering. They represent entirely new ways of creating value for organizations and citizens alike. And they will, over time, transform all of the systems we take for granted today. For all of the opportunities that arise from the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and there are many, it's developing in an era of great upheaval and change throughout the world. Already, we've seen that accelerating climate change, widening social exclusion, regional conflicts, and rebellion against established elites and structures increasingly threaten to disrupt supply chains and market stability. While the digital revolution offers opportunities to bridge the gap between previously divided people and nations, if many continue to feel left behind by the changes, this could result in greater fragmentation, instability, and volatility. So while the benefits of the Fourth Industrial Revolution seem to rely almost entirely on technological breakthroughs, when and how they materialize and to whose benefit is uncertain. Notwithstanding those extraordinary economic, geopolitical, environmental, and social threats, organizations today are under extreme pressure to consider the interests of all their stakeholders, not just shareholders. It's difficult to understand these fundamental shifts in investment, policies, and collective action unless we appreciate how people and technology interactions have evolved and are changing the foundational systems around us. For business leaders, this requires a minimal viable appreciation of specific technologies, their capabilities, and their potential. More important is to connect the dots through an understanding of the relationship between technologies and the systemic changes that they help to catalyze. To be clear, we must anticipate a new world order that will be made possible by the ingenuity of people, coexisting in a societal framework that anticipates risks and is uniformly aligned with a clear and realistic sense of purpose. These are the three major challenges to consider in this context. First, we must ensure that the benefits of human development are equitably realized. The UN Human Development Index, or HDI, focuses on three major global benchmarks of human existence that provide a meaningful way to measure progress in this context, including access to sources of knowledge, a decent standard of living, the right to a long and healthy life. In the context of the transforming organization, it's every business leader's challenge to demonstrate how the purposeful company is contributing or intends to contribute to these qualitative outcomes. Our second challenge is to manage the externalities of contemporary risks and unintended consequences resulting from foreseen and unforeseen economic, geopolitical, environmental, social, and technological events. Business leaders know that successful organizational transformation depends on resilient workers, productive ecosystems, and a stable work environment. At the same time, they also know that environmental instability, the potential and promise of AI, and the lingering effects of COVID on a still recovering global economy, to name just a few headwinds, all suggest that sustainable business growth models simply must move away from our current consumption and efficiency model. In an ideal scenario, we'll see the emergence of purpose-driven organizations that use only renewable energy, restore biodiversity, aim for gender equal employment practices, and promote a fully circular economy. Leaders should be readying the workforce and reorienting management teams to operate digital-first organizations while ensuring game-changing tech is in service to people, prosperity, and planet. These organizations will collaborate with peers and policymakers to anticipate and avoid unethical outcomes or risks to humanity that could be deprioritized, intentionally or otherwise, relative to marketplace gains. This dovetails to a third challenge, which is to ensure the future is human-led and human-centered, including ensuring positive human values are incorporated into the technologies that are changing our world. Business leaders have a pivotal role to play in developing the mindsets, behaviors, and organizational knowledge that drives human ingenuity, while also cultivating the skills that are needed as the digital workplace evolves. Timing matters here, as readiness of the workforce should be at or even slightly ahead of the needed change. The future of work will require a multitude of new human-centric skills, including not just the ability to collaborate virtually in cross-cultural settings, but also to demonstrate both adaptive and computational thinking, as well as assets like social intelligence, a design mindset, sense-making, and advanced cognition. The ability to hold a long state of ambiguity is critical, as is feeling confident despite not knowing what lies ahead. Workers will need the ability and the passion to learn constantly, to be open to diverse opinions, and be willing to compromise in order to be able to deliver new value in a fast-moving marketplace, as well as being resilient, optimistic, and creative. Digital age business models, therefore, are purpose-driven and human-centric by definition and by design. While the corporate narrative will unite brand, culture, and business strategy into a coherent and powerful story, purpose will clearly define the reason for the company's existence, the need it fulfills, and the new value, social good, and intent that the business is creating for workers, communities, society, and the environment. Digital advances will continue to enable workers to pursue ever more gratifying and purposeful work. Ideally, this work will be aligned not only to the business vision, but also be deeply ingrained with the day-to-day operation and underlying ethic of the entire ecosystem. In this way, the organizational purpose becomes the driver of digital transformation, rather than the converse. In part 2 of this series, I'll discuss the 4 most important principles to keep in mind when defining a leadership mindset in the purpose-driven organization. Those are values, not disengagement; empowering, not determining; systems, not technologies; and by design, not by default. You can find this and other editions of LDS On and other LDS thought leadership on our website, www.lds.com. Come back for part 2 of this discussion on leading with purpose. Thanks for listening.